Chapter 70, Tenfold Reward. At Ding Rui's residence, Ding Rui was talking to a few subordinates in a room. "Helm Master, will we imprison the Hall Master like this?" a subordinate worried. "What are you guys worried about?" "Anything. I'll take the top," Ding Rui said in a cold voice. "Yes, the subordinate is just worried about that Gu Hai. Will he spoil your business?" that subordinate worried. HMPH, thinking that killing some innates and Jindan realms is a big deal. "Don't worry, I'll crush him like an ant," Ding Rui said in a cold voice. The subordinate is worried that it will also attract Master Liunian. Ding Rui's eyes narrowed slightly as she nodded. "You're right, the old man Liunian is indeed a trouble. Just in case Gu Hai sends a message to the old thing Liunian, we'll kill Gu Hai tonight." Wow. There was a steep uproar from the outside world. Endless noise rushed straight to Ding Rui's residence. "What is it?" Ding Rui said with a cold face, stepping out of the hut with a group of subordinates. Out of the hut, one looked up. Boom. The sky full of debris shattered and opened up, turning into countless clouds and mist in the midst of high-altitude surroundings. "What?" Ding Rui's face changed. At this moment, a subordinate ran from afar. "Rudder Master! Rudder Master! Something big has happened in the Yuron Valley. This noise, it's all coming from the Yuron Valley. What's going on? How did the wreckage break so much all of a sudden?" Ding Rui said in surprise. "It's Gu Hai. Gu Hai did it. He first competed with the South Sea Chess King and the North Sea Chess King, and each of the three broke 200 games in 5 hours. That subordinate respectfully said. 600 games. Ding Rui's face changed. Ding Rui had also cracked it, but unfortunately, Ding Rui was not good at chess. Although she cracked it, the speed was very slow. 600 games at a time. This was simply unimaginable. Yes, 600 games. Gu Hai defeated the two major chess kings. Then out of nowhere a person called Guanju appeared and competed with Gu Hai. The two of them played 1,000 games against each other. 1,000 games at a time. That person respectfully said. 1,000 games. The other group of Fire Rudder disciples were surprised. Yes. Moreover, it was still broken by Gu Hai. 1,000 games at a time. The entire Yuron Valley was in an uproar. Everyone was amongst the shouting. That subordinate respectfully said. "Ding Rui, before Gu Hai came, it's been more than a month, and only a few hundred games were broken. Gu Hai came for a day and unraveled 1,600 games. No, Gu Hai also broke more than 100 games outside the Grand Formation. So, Gu Hai has already cracked more than 1,700 games in the short time he's been here." A subordinate opened his mouth and said in shock. "There are still 600 games left. Only 600 games left. Helm Master, are we still going to make a move tonight?" An earlier subordinate frowned. "Ding Rui, go take a look." Ding Rui grimly led the crowd to quickly jump up a mountain peak. Surrounded by clouds and mist, standing on top of the mountain peak, one could see everything in the Yuron Valley, while the Yuron Valley could not see the crowd on the mountain. In the Yuron Valley, the Tu Sheng Chess King was sitting in his original position. Next to him, a black-clothed woman was relying on his body. But behind him, a group of disciples were looking at the opposite side in astonishment. The crowd of cultivators brought by Gu Hai screamed the most enthusiastically. After all, respect is mutual. Gu Hai gave everyone a chance to come in, and it was normal for the crowd to help Gu Hai scream twice. The South Sea Chess King and North Sea Chess King looked at Gu Hai with wide eyes, obviously also shocked by Gu Hai's chess power. Many thanks to Prince Guanju. Gu Hai took a deep breath and looked at the 9th prince with increased weight and said. The 9th Duke stared at Gu Hai, his complexion for a while. Originally, he wanted Gu Hai to be his stand-in, but now it seemed that this Gu Hai himself could not get his hands on it at all. "Forget it, I can't give you my inheritance. My coughing sickness is just right, and I'm considered to be back to my peak. You're still far from it," In the future, you and I will spar again. 9 Duke sighed slightly. Go. The 9th Duke opened his mouth. Yes, the crowd of subordinates respectfully said. The crowd of subordinates followed the 9th Prince as he slowly walked towards the outside world. Alas and alack, Duke 9 of Guan. Duke 9 of Guan, please stay. There are still 600 handicaps left. Duke 9 of Guan, please stay. I haven't had time to entertain yet. Ding Dong immediately went forward and called out. But the 9th Prince seemed to be too lazy to look at him and ignored him. A group of subordinates quickly held Ding Dong back. Ding Dong, Guanju Gong. Looking at the crowd who simply ignored him as well, Ding Dong's face stiffened. What group of people are these? As soon as the 9th Duke left, the South Sea Chess King and the North Sea Chess King were steeply bright-eyed. Just now, the 9th Prince said that his inheritance couldn't be given to Gu Hai. Wouldn't that be? Go. The South Sea Chess King immediately stepped after him. Go. The North Sea Chess King also chased after him with an eager face. The people brought by the 2 great chess kings quickly followed and left. Alas, South Sea Chess King, why are you guys leaving so quickly? North Sea Chess King, don't leave, I haven't done my duty as a host yet. Ding Dong anxiously went to stop the 2 chess kings. The South Sea Chess King's eyes glared. Ding Dong, how dare you stop me? Believe it or not, I'll step on your Ding Long sect. Go away, don't block me. The North Sea Chess King droned. The 2 chess kings were anxious beyond measure. The 9 Dukes' movements were drifting. It would be bad if they lost the 9 Duke. Ding Dong, what is all this? Breathless, Ding Dong moved out of the way to allow the 2 great chess kings to leave, his heart filled with depression. They left. What about the remnants of the game? With a jolt, Ding Dong instantly looked towards the 2 remaining people, the 2 Sheng Chess King and Gu Hai. They couldn't leave. If they were to leave, there was no telling when this broken game would have to wait. Mr. Gu, do you have any requests? What do you need? I, Ding Long sect, will try to satisfy Mr. Gu as much as I can. Ding Dong immediately stepped forward and smiled. After playing so many stalemate games, I'm a bit tired. I want to rest. Gu Hai spoke. Naturally. The best house is here. Take your pick, Ding Dong said eagerly. Luckily, Gu Hai didn't say he wanted to leave. Gu Hai smiled faintly and turned his head to look at the 1,000 or so cultivators he had brought in. Patriarch Ding, these are my friends that I brought in. Could you also send someone to house them and give them convenience? Gu Hai smiled. Ding Dong was slightly stunned. Originally, these more than 1,000 people were allowed to stay in the valley. Nothing was provided. If they couldn't stand it, they would go out on their own, and if they went out, they were not allowed to come in. But when Gu Hai said that, Ding Dong was in a difficult situation for a while. If it's not possible, then I'll take this group of friends out to find a place to stay. Gu Hai shook his head and pretended to leave. Don't, since you all are Mr. Gu's friends, then feel free to stay here. Feel free to stay here. Ding Dong gritted his teeth and shouted at once. Ha ha ha. Many thanks, Mr. Gu. The crowd of cultivators shouted at once. Ding Long Zong was starting to become interesting. The crowd of cultivators were not ready to leave even if they hit the ground. Looking at Ding Long Zong's thief-proof appearance, the crowd of cultivators were already unhappy in their hearts. And now that they had to be taken care of by Gu Hai, the crowd was instantly grateful in their hearts. Gu Hai nodded, picked a clean courtyard, and stepped towards it. I'll live in that house. I'll live here. Don't steal it from me. I'll live here. For a while, a crowd of cultivators picked their residences in a rowdy manner. Ding Dong's face twitched slightly, so he twisted his head away. Out of sight, out of mind. Tu Sheng Chess King, my hospitality was not good earlier. If there is anything I need, I will energetically fulfill it. And I hope that Tu Sheng Chess King can solve the remaining stalemate as soon as possible. Ding Dong said to the Tu Sheng Chess King. I'm also tired and need to rest. The Tusheng chess king shook his head. Standing up, he wrapped his arms around the woman in his arms and led a group of subordinates towards a small courtyard. Who you? Ding Dong let out a long breath. Fortunately, both Gu Hai and Tusheng chess king had not left yet. It was good to explain to cousin Ant. Go, gather 2,000 more disciples to come and watch over the surroundings of the Yuron Valley. Don't make a mess. For Gu Hai and Tusheng chess king's requests, do your best to fulfill them. Ding Dong instructed a Ding Long sect disciple. Yes, not far from the top of the mountain peak. Ding Rui squinted his eyes as he looked into the valley. Helm Master, that Tusheng chess king solve is the weakest of the 3 chess kings. Now that the Tusheng chess king and Gu Hai are left, do we still have to make a move on Gu Hai tonight? Yes, Gu Hai might rest for a while and make a move to solve the remaining stalemate. We can't hide it for too long, maybe soon. Li Haoran found out and brought the Divine Mechanism Battalion disciples to us. Even if Gu Hai sends a message out, it will take a long time. Gu Hai doesn't even know we're here. Right, helmsman, Gu Hai doesn't even know you're here. What are we worried about him for? A group of subordinates looked at Ding Rui. Ding Rui's eyes were cloudy for a while. In her heart, she wanted to settle this unstable factor of Gu Hai immediately. But, after some weighing, she could only give up helplessly. Keep an eye on Gu Hai for me. If there is any news, notify me immediately. Also, hide yourselves well. Don't give Gu Hai the chance to recognize us. Ding Rui said in a deep voice. Not making a move. Wait for Gu Hai to unlock the remaining 600 games before we strike, Ding Rui said in a cold voice. Yes, the crowd responded. Increase the bounty for solving the games by 10 times, and for each game solved, reward 100 top-grade spirit stones, Ding Rui said in a deep voice. 100 upper-grade spirit stones. That much. The crowd was surprised. What I want is time. I want to buy time with spirit stones, and I want it fast, Ding Rui said in a deep voice. Yes, the crowd responded. The news was quickly conveyed through the Ding Long sect's disciples. Solving a stalemate and rewarding 100 top-grade spirit stones. Instantly, the cultivators who hadn't recovered from the previous shock boiled over. What the hell? It's been doubled tenfold again. A crowd of cultivators desperately tried to solve the game themselves. Cannot solve, slowly solve. This reward is too horrible. Of course, some of the cultivators were hitting on Ding Long sect's idea. This Ding Long sect was really rich. One by one, they looked at the Ding Long sect's disciples with unsavory eyes. The Ding Long sect disciples, who had come to monitor the cultivators in the Yuron Valley, also suddenly became uncomfortable. Was he spying on them, or were they spying on him? The gazes of each of those cultivators, looking at themselves, were so * nakedly excited. It was as if they were looking at a moving mountain of spirit stones, and they couldn't wait to come up and touch it. For a time, the atmosphere of the Yuron Valley became exceptionally weird.